Hey, Shalom, Shalom. Kwam Yasha'Allah. Kohlo Yamla, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai, Bahashim, Chahakadash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well, and that by the Spirit taught us this beautiful truth. And just want to say the water to all the H.I.M and Akwaf that's out here sincerely keeping the laws, the statutes, and commandments of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahushai to the best of their ability. This is Yachan Anawach. Just coming at you with another quick lesson, praying that it's edifying by the Spirit. And of course, you see your boy Trump. It says his approval ratings hit record low of 37% amid Iran's war fallout. So this guy, he has the whole world. Well, it's really Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. This man is just being used, you know, because it's that Proverbs 21:1. It talks about how the king's hand. So like, yeah, the king's mind is in the hands of the Lord, Yahweh. Just like a rivers of water, he turneth it whithersoever he will. So the Lord got these leaders making these moves that they're making. And there's a lot going on out there in them seas, man, right now, you know, because it's a lot of piracy going on, you know, it's a lot of tankers those oil tankers being just taken over. Shit, I guess people like, shit, fuck it, it's fair game, since America is doing that. And then they got the Strait of Hormuz still blocked off. They still trying to so-called make a deal, and we already know that's not going to come to fruition, because Iran basically are like, well, you guys got to pretty much overall pay us reparations, or you have to pay us the money for the destruction that you've caused in our country. And that can be in the billions of dollars, you know what I'm saying? But America's not going to do that. Esau's too prideful. He's too prideful. That's the reason why this, the whole thing is collapsing on him, because instead of him just pulling on out of there, because it's going to take a while, even if, let's say the shit just stopped today, it still would take a while to get everything back on track and back in order, so to speak, where, these global economies can somewhat thrive again, or get back to somewhat, because people was already struggling. Yeah, piece of lucky. These fucking people, the way they be driving, man. Anyway, yeah, but people were already struggling, so now you got this to go along with it. And that bread and circus, it's not working anymore like that, because people can't afford to really go to the bread and circus anymore. You used to be able to at least keep them distracted with that, at least that. Now it's like they just sitting at home, like, shit, I can't even go across town and visit, a family member. I got to save all the gas I can save. People not getting out like that. It's affecting all kinds of businesses. The economy is just trash, bro. This gas is out of control. And I was kicking it with this Edomite just the other day, I didn't go all hard with it, but because he be mentioning shit, be trying to see what I'm gonna say, and I just kind of just like ignore his ass to a certain extent, but I'll say a little something and just keep it moving. But I was telling him, like, yeah, well, shit, now I'm gonna go on Polymarket and I'm gonna make a bet that the gas be $10. You know what I'm saying? About 4th of July. I was really trying to throw a signal at him, like, yeah, your Independence Day. You prideful ass so-called white people, man. You're starting to fall, and they're not looking good right now on the world stage. Especially these American ones, just you so-called white people are not looking good, period, in the world. Like, the whole world is just starting to look at you like, you're the problem. Which a lot of them have already known that you were the problem to begin with, but now it's just further being shown, like, that shameful spewing is upon your glory, man. You just won't stop. You won't let up. And see, people like Trump, see this, I seen a few of those I think he was in Florida, a couple of different places doing some speeches, and you had those, those seals, them hand clapping seals in the fucking audience. But those are those few people that are around him that still kissing ass. But his mega base, like regular megas, hey, they going through it. You don't think these Edomites driving these big ass F-250s, F-350s, these Silverados, these HD 2500s, these 3500s, them bitches take gas. You don't think that they not pissed about it's costing them an extra 150 to fill that bitch up? Them trucks, man, take a lot of fucking fuel. And that's Edomite country, you know what I'm saying? Like Edomites, they drive those particular types of vehicles. At least, a lot of these red hats that you see, these megas, and then not to mention, if they're married, their wife, hell, their wife might even have a damn truck too, but generally they'll, the wife will be driving something, a little more luxurious, so to speak, at least around the, that Edomite class of people that, that they just gotta have that particular type of lifestyle, but, and in a lot of instances they can afford it, but, with the way things are going, and things are getting a lot more expensive, everybody is gonna feel the pinch. I wouldn't say of course the elite, they're not gonna feel it. You got some billionaires, they're not gonna feel it. You got some people sitting on, a couple of $100 million or, a couple of M's or whatever. I'm talking about your general, you got, a six-figure Edomites that's feeling it, man. Motherfucker might be making $50, $60 an hour, but and they be living check to check too, because a lot of the times they be living outside of their means. They go and buy those big ass houses off in them woods. They get, they try and have that land, and they drive, maybe about an hour just to get to their job location. They never really work around where they live. They generally, they live in other places, where it's, it's Edomiteville. It's nicer, it's more pristine, it's more clean, so to speak, because Esau is given that fatness of the earth. Like, they'll come down to the major cities where the Israelites are, so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, like they'll come to those downtown offices, but that's a commute. I know it's people that work at the plantation where I work at. They be coming all the way from Ontario, fucking over in Canada. That's a commute. I noticed that a lot of them, they got those electric vehicles. But the ones that's driving those gas powered vehicles, that's a track right there, man. It's not super far, but it's not super close neither. So this guy, his approval rating is not what it was. When he first came through, these Edomites was happy as hell, big ass smiles on their face. I'd never forget it, bro. I'd never forget how they, would be in that motherfucker, in the plantation, pretty much, just happy as hell, bro. Happy as hell. Now all of a sudden that, that smile done turned into a frown. And I just be checking them out now, you know what I'm saying? Like, where's all that damn, all that energy y'all had, a year and a half ago? Where's all that energy at? And again, I work with this older Edomite and shit, he was all happy and shit. Now all of a sudden he's, trying to act as if he didn't vote for the guy, trying to, run game on me. Like, nigga, you forget we had conversations. I know you voted for this guy, But I can tell the way that he was talking the other day to me, like he's not feeling him no more. But it was only so much he could say, because he know that, he's one of those ones that secretly deny, well, I wouldn't say denying, but just like this, just like that, it's an Edomite thing. They're not accountable. Like, it's hard for him to say, I fucked up, I was wrong for voting for this guy. I didn't know that he was gonna do all this. He didn't keep any of the campaign promise, because I can remember the nigga talking about the Epstein files. He's gonna bring out the files. Yeah, he gonna bring them out, all right. He done everything in his power to keep them files from coming out. His name all in there. Every time, you know what I'm saying, they bring the files back up, something will happen. And I really believe with these polls that he got right now, it's gonna be a false flag. You know what I'm saying? I believe that they're gonna throw a false flag out there. I've been hearing about this this virus. It's a new virus that there's somebody, I guess they supposed to be caught on a cruise tanker. Matter of fact, I just seen it. It's in there. But a cruiser, I'm not sure. I can't think of what it's called. But who knows, man? You know, we're not ignorant to Satan's devices. We know that when the polls get like this, and then see they're trying to do all this redistricting of these maps and shit like that. So, you know, they kind of been losing on that end as well, you know, as far as these new drawn out maps that they have for, you know, I guess Democrats, Republicans, whatever. And so it's just not looking well, bro. Because with these kind of ratings that he has right now, there's no way they're gonna win in the midterms. They're pretty worried about that. So I would say I wouldn't put nothing past these people. They're gonna do something. It may not even be no midterms. You know, he might. Who knows? This thing could be full-fledged, whatever, war, or they could full-fledged, could go into martial law, bring through a new virus, whatever, shut down everything, have everybody in their damn house, and there won't be no voting. Because they have think tanks on stuff like this. You know, Esau, he has think tanks on complete evil. He literally sits up at night and they devise evil. That's all they do. It's never about anything righteous. This is just what they do. So you have to imagine the people that's around him, you know, they're going through every law that they can scour through. They're going through every amendment, everything that they can, can throw around and because he hasn't been following the Constitution at all. So that's a big thing too. So if he's not following that Constitution, then they're capable of anything. They're gonna pull something off, man. It's only a matter of time. And they really can't help it. Because that Revelation 12:12, it talks about how they know that they have but a short time. They're gonna come down with great wrath. And they're, with everything that's going on in this strait over here, I say they most definitely, can, throw something out there to throw things off, Yep. I say they definitely they don't have no choice, really. Because they're going to need, Trump. Because I can't see nobody else doing it. They're going to need Trump, to continue doing what he's doing. He's perfect when it comes to pretty much overall, destroying this place, breaking this place down where, that dollar is pretty much overall destroyed. He's doing that. He's doing that right now. That Strait of Hormuz thing is doing that right now, and everybody is rushing towards this market of beauty and the beast. All these countries are on this, these leaders are about that digital, who's going to be next in line to, pretty much overall be king of the currency, so to speak. All these leaders are about that microchip. That technology is out here. Everybody is moving away from that dollar, especially these BRICS nations. And if that dollar fall, that's going to be a caving and straight chaos. Because you might be looking at, $15 a gallon in this motherfucker by July 1st. Who knows? We'll see. But we know the approval ratings of this man is done. It's a done deal on that. So just look for some bullshit to come through, because that's Esau's his go-to every single time. It's not nothing secretive about his playbook no more. His playbook, they do this all the time. It's just that now with the internet, and with these social media sites, you can get a lot more news and information too fast now, too quickly. So it's kind of hard for them to pull a lot of the shit that they've been pulling, and they've been being found out. People been scouring through this shit and like, no, that's fake, that's some bullshit. Even with this, just think about it. This motherfucker was supposedly just had an attempt on his life, and nobody's even talking about that shit. They not even talking about it. They dropped that shit so fast because I'm sure they had to see the ratings on it, and they had to see that, a lot of people was, nah, they not feeling that. They're not feeling that. The people are not feeling that. The people are not feeling you. They're not feeling you. And especially the so-called white woman. And so when you lose your woman, You know it's over with when you lose your woman. When you don't have the support of your women or your woman. That's just in a single household. You know what I'm saying? When you lose support of your woman and you can just kind of tell, like, I don't have her mind no more. Because that's where it's at. It's in the mind. I don't have her mind no more. I know she's not in love with me anymore. Doofy ass. Fucking. It's like, yeah, damn Edomites. I'm around these fuckers right now. Anyway. But yeah, he's losing, man. It's not going well. He's losing. Not going well at all. Looking stupid on the world stage. And can't admit it. That's where that pride comes in. That's why, the scripture talks about that. Before a fall, there's pride, man. A haughty spirit before a fall. This man is being destroyed because he can't accept the fact that he's losing. Why not just go ahead and say, you know what? Let's just. Now you got yourself in a strait where it's hard for them to come out of it. Even if they were to say, you know what? All right, we were wrong. What are you about to pay these people all that money? To fix their country back up? What are you about to say? Well, we're gonna you've been having all these talk. Well, we can't allow them to have a nuclear weapon when your bitch ass got a gang of them. You trying to tell sovereign countries what to do, and really in reality, we know that it's Israel. Y'all been doing all this shit for a foreign country, and see, you Edomites, you hate Jake so bad. You hate the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans so bad. But your country is being ran by a whole nother country, and you know that it's being ran by a whole nother country, and you're not doing a goddamn thing about it. But you on Jake ass, though. All your hatred is geared towards so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And we ain't doing nothing to you. All we doing is getting the fuck up and going to work. But we know that that's all a part of the prophecies or whatever, this fight between these two families, these two rival families, you know what I'm saying, Jacob and Esau. We know that that's what it really, really is, overall. But, when it straight comes down to it, you got Jake in total submission. Jake not doing shit here, man. Actually, you got Jake even more destroyed than he has ever been destroyed in his life. We're destroyed as a people. And yet, we're still the problem to you. That's how we know that this is a spiritual battle between those two sons, Jacob and Esau. That's how we know that. Because again, you got us in complete. You have us completely destroyed. Like, how are we even we're of no competition to you, so to speak. We don't have a military. It's not like Jake, Jake do crime, don't get me wrong, but Jake do crime because they just been stuck here around you fuckers for so long. When we're talking about Jake not running off into the Pentagon and trying to take over security codes or, trying to do an uprising where, they're just gonna come up and take this shit over. No, that's all gonna happen through the spirit and power of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. We don't have no might like that, you know what I'm saying? So really, in reality, we know that this is something spiritual, that the reason why they hate us the way that they hate us. Here you go, China got more the ability to fuck y'all up. And you will, these Americans, they do through their propaganda. They believe that China is an enemy of America, but China don't want no smoke with America like that. They just trying to get their money because they do a lot of imports here. A lot of a lot of the shipping, a lot of the shit that comes here to the Americas comes from China. So why would they want to fuck that up? So, but those supposedly being your enemies, all these other countries that have militaries that can actually take y'all asses off the map, you don't hate them like how you hate us, and we don't have shit. So again, this is a spiritual thing. This is a spiritual war. And it is what it is, man. It's all playing out. So, and Trump, like I said again, I can't see him going nowhere. I don't see, you know, them allowing an L where they gotta, you know, pretty much start back over with somebody else fresh. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't see that. I don't see, you know, I can't see even any of those Democrats being as wicked as this motherfucker is. You know, this guy is another level wicked, man. But yeah, man, I just wanted to just you know kind of do a little ride and drive, just kick it. But this is beautiful right here, man. This is beautiful to see. It's just kind of real eerie. It's like a real eerie type of feeling, you know, so to speak, in the world right now, you know. And you can just see the it's just the people, they don't have it, man. You know, they just kind of like, they're miserable. You know, it's that scripture in Baruch, man. You know what I'm saying? These people are miserable. Let me see. It's a lot. I'll grab one. I'm going to end out anyway. I'm pretty much about at my destination. Oh, let me get this too. Ecclesiasticus 25:7. There be 9 things which I have judged in mine heart to be happy. And the 10th I will utter with my tongue. A man that have joy of his children, and he that liveth to see the fall of his enemy. And that's what we're witnessing, the fall of our enemy right now. Let's get this one in Baruch real quick before this light change. Baruch 4, let me start at verse 30. It says, take a good heart, O Jerusalem, for he that gave thee that name will comfort thee. And yeah, the Lord, he's going to comfort us soon, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's comforting us right now, you know, because we have the Holy Spirit. But, you know, there's going to come that ultimate comfort where, you know, where we're going to have those new bodies. Scriptures, you know what I'm saying? The commandments, law, statutes, and commandments are going to be written on our minds and hearts. That's going to be completely comforting, man. No more tears. But anyway, it says, verse 31, it says, miserable are they that afflicted thee, and rejoice at thy fall. Miserable are the cities which thy children serve. Miserable is she that received thy sons, right? And they rejoice at our fall. You remember, because you can still go online, and you can pull up some of them photos of them looking up in a tree with, you know, Jake hanging from a damn tree with them big ass smiles on their face. You know, they done a lot of that, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and you know, that shameful spewing is on them. A lot of stuff is starting to come to light. A lot of people are starting to see, like, God damn, y'all niggas is fucking treacherous. You know, see Esau, he's still trying to hold on to a facade. He's still trying to, you know, save face. But deep down and in the backdrop, people are not going for that shit. You know, it's just that he has control of overall the main media. You know what I'm saying? So he's able to kind of say was what, bring it out. And people don't have no choice but to actually, you know, look at it, so to speak. They don't have to necessarily accept it. But, you know, on record to them, oh, we didn't do anything bad. You know, that was a long time ago. Well, here you go. You're about to celebrate 250 years of, you know, the same 250 years, so to speak. The time period that you was doing all this shit to us. And we're just supposed to forget that, but you're supposed to remember, you know what I'm saying, and have this big ass parades and do all this, and you know, oh shit.